Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a translucent leaf cane. So now I'm going to just bring up some examples of what a translucent cane is. Now bear in mind that these pieces are many years old. They are not pieces that have been finished off well. Just all of my well finished off pieces have been sold, so they'll be in the intro in the beginning of the tutorial, so you'll be able to see those. But anyway, these are some examples. So for instance, this one is where I made a translucent lace cane, and that is the top layer where you have all of these intricate almost honeycomb features, and then behind that I have my Starry Night technique. That is one translucent cane. Then here I have a few translucent canes. I have a translucent flower cane here and a translucent leaf cane, which is what we're going to be making today, and you can see we have a mod cane in the background, and the translucent canes allow the mod cane to come through the cane slices, but at the same time we still have an image on top. Here's another lace cane, a little bit different this time around, but again another translucent one that was put on top of a skinner bend. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what what translucent canes are. I will have better photos at the beginning of the video in the intro that you'll be able to see. Now, to start with, we are going to be working with Primo Translucent. You can use Primo White Translucent or Primo Translucent, just the normal sort. It's completely up to you. Okay, so I've got a nice slab here, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to roll this up. So I'm just going to press on this end so that we don't have any air bubbles, because I want to get this into a log. Like so. Okay, and I'm just going to start squishing that down. And it's very soft because I've been conditioning it well, so that it's nice and easy to work with. And you can see it goes down pretty quickly. Okay, now just need to gently press along those sides to get it all smoothed out. And I'm probably working with about a small block of translucent here, and I'm using Primo White Translucent. Okay, and I'm just going to start forming it into my leaf shape. And I'm just going to give myself a rough shape to start with, and then I'll just gently press along these edges. Excuse me, my voice is a little scratchy today. You just want to work this into the shape of your leaf. Okay, there we go, that's close enough. Put that to the side, and we're going to be working. Now this is, let's see, this actually is important. I need to tell you how wide this is so that you can decide how thick your lines to create the veins of the leaf are going to be. So at its thickest point over here, from here to here, it's about 4.5 centimeters. From the point over here, the tallest point, it's about 6 centimeters. So I'm going to make my black sheet of Primo and my white sheet of Primo about 1 millimeter thick. So I'm just running that out on my pasta machine quickly. Okay. Alright. I'm just going to grab this, and now this one, it's got a little dirty down this end, so I'm just going to trim that. Then I will grab my black, and I'm going to lay that on top and smooth it down. Okay. Then we want to trim away excess. Like so. And try to separate the white from the black. That way you can use it again. Okay. And now keep in mind you don't have to use two colours. I'm using two colours because I find it creates an interesting effect. But you can use just white or just black or any colour you want really. There we go. Right, so now the first step is going to be to thin this out because I don't want it this thick. I want it again at about, I want it a little thicker than 1 millimeter, so probably about 1.5 millimeters thick. And at the same time, that's going to have gotten out any air bubbles that might be between the layers. Okay. So now, put that to the side. I want you to position your blade cut that in half. Okay, and then I like to make marks of my veins on one side before I cut. I always do that. Okay. Now if you see bubbles, that's not good. So what I like to do is just gently smooth them in. Get rid of those bubbles. We cut down into the middle of a bubble there, that's why I like to cut down into the middle vein first. Okay, now grab this and lay one of these pieces on top. And trim out. And again, this is going to go into your leftover box. And remember, like all of our canes that we are doing at the moment, we're going to be keeping all of our leftovers in separate little bags ready for use in some leftover tutorials that I'm working on. Okay, put that to the side, pick this up. And just line that up so that it meets up nicely. Okay, there we go. Then on the one side I'm going to make a cut and another cut and another cut. I'm just going to separate that. Like so. Then just put this to the side, bring this over again, and we'll just lay down these ends like so. Don't do that one. Just trim that out roughly. Then just use your blade to gently trim away the excess. And then line them up together again, like so. It's really quite easy. And then what I'm doing with this side, you will repeat with the other half of the leaf cane, and I'll show you that in just a moment as well. Yeah. Okay, then just readjust it. Just make sure that all of your pieces are sitting correctly in their correct spots. Then put that to the side, and this one, what you're going to do this time around is you're going to take those spots where you made the indents, but you're going to cut straight the center bit over here, and then you're going to basically do the exact same thing. Then press those two together and try to get those veins lined up as well. You don't have to match it perfectly, but as close as possible is always good. Okay. Then I'm just checking around the sides to make sure it's all going well. Okay, then I'm going to bring this over, and I just want to heal that slice over there. Okay. And I'm just going to cut this in half, because I want to wrap it around the piece. I'm just going to press those two together to form one long sheet. There we go. That way we waste a lot less clay. Then grab your leaf, wrap this around to the top. I'm just going to make a mark there. Trim. Bring this one round, press, and that will make a mark as well. And that's where you trim. Gently press those two together, like so. Alright, now just gently press around the edges just to get it stuck to the spots where it's supposed to be stuck to. And then I'm going to go around with my blade, and this is a fairly blunt blade that I work with here because my fingers are quite are interacting with it a bit, so I don't like working with a super sharp blade at this point. There's no need to anyway, so don't worry, this is quite blunt. It won't cut me if I press my finger up against it for a moment. Not that you want to do it, you want to try and avoid that as much as possible, but when you're working with the cane at this point in the game, generally it's best to work with a blunt one, so that you don't have any issues with your fingers being in the danger area. Just getting rid of most of that. Okay, and that's close enough. Press around all of these edges, make sure it's all stuck together. And then we're going to start reducing. So this is quite a large cane. The larger the cane is, the easier it is to work with. Okay, now my clay is fairly soft, so this should go fairly quickly, but I do want to be careful to make sure that the outside and the inside reduces at the same rate. And now basically the reduction shape is going to be a triangle. It's not quite the right shape for the leaf, but we can very easily mold it back into the correct shape later on once we've started reducing it. Okay, and you can see that we're getting a bit of distortion. The translucent is moving a little bit faster than the black, which is alright, it's not moving a lot faster, but it's good because it means that everything is reducing somewhat evenly. You can always leave this to rest if you want as well, to let the clay get to the correct temperature. They're all the same temperature and then they reduce somewhat more evenly, but then it's not as soft and easy to reduce. And with this cane we're not going to have a lot of distortion anyway, and if we have a little bit of distortion it's not really all that big of a problem. Some canes though, the more complex the cane, the more precautions you want to take to reduce the amount of distortion when you are reducing. So for instance, a cane that you would like to be careful with is something like a kaleidoscope. That is a lot more time consuming. You want to make sure that your cane rests for at least 2 hours before you actually start reducing it in general, because it means that the clay gets to rest and it's the same temperature throughout. Some bits aren't warmer than others and therefore reduce quicker. However, this cane, there's no problem with that. It's fine if it reduces a little bit wonky, because it is an organic cane after all. Okay, and you can see that this is reduced very quickly. You can even gently pull on it. Don't pull too tight, but you can pull on it at this point and it will reduce it quite quickly. Right, now I'm just going to slice on one end until I get to the point where my vein starts showing. Okay, there we go. And I'll chop the other end as well. There we go. So that is how it looks at the moment. And I'm actually going to stop there. And what we want to do is we want to round this base here. We want this to stay nice and sharp like it is, but this part over here we want to round. So all you do is you just gently position it like so, so you can see the image is lying down like this, and you just start pressing along this corner just to flatten it out and not make it so sharp. And then just spend a little bit of time and effort to just smooth it out and get it rounded. And there you can see, much rounder. Repeat on the other side, turn it around. And this time you need to be a little bit more careful because the other side can distort a bit while you're doing it. Press along the side. And then gently rub to get it rounded out. Okay. And then as a final step, I then go, and while you do, because we want to round this out so that it looks like that, you want to hold this side and push with this side so that we keep our nice sharp shape on the one side and round out on the other. And now before you cut this cane, I highly recommend leaving it for at least 2 hours to let it cool. You could put it in the freezer as well, but in general, to get the correct effect, you need it to rest properly. So give it some time. And before I rest it, I always like to shape it. And you can do some fine tuning once it has rested, but in general it will have hardened up by then. So for most of the shaping, I like to do it now. Just smoothing it out. Alright, so there we go, we've got our rough leaf shape. Now I'm just going to gently cut that and I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. Now it's really soft, so it was hard for me to get a nice slice out of that. And it's still not quite the nicest slice. But that's basically what it looks like. You'll be able to see at the beginning of the video with the title. You'll be able to see what it looks like once I slice it after it is set for the right amount of time. Now what you can do is you can use this in other projects where you want to just add a leaf on top of an already existing veneer. So this is the same leaf that I used in this project over here, and you can see the leaf over there. Just take it, make sure it's a nice thin slice. The thinner it is, the better the effect is. Place the slice on top of an already existing veneer. When you bake it, the translucent will go translucent, and with some sanding you'll be able to see that other veneer through the translucent bits in the leaf very easily. So that's basically it for this week's tutorial. I am probably going to do a project using those leftovers. I want to show you how to create a translucent strupple cane. So that will come out in a day or two, so check that out. It's a really nice cane. It goes very well with this leaf and it works very well. So be sure to check out that tutorial when it comes out. And if you would like to support this channel and allow me to continue putting out multiple videos a week, please do consider becoming a patron. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. It really helps me out. I'd greatly appreciate it. And you also get rewards for being a patron. You get up to a 20% discount on my Etsy shop, Jessama Design, where I sell cutters and all sorts of other polymer clay tools and supplies. And you also get exclusive videos every single month that is patron only. Along with some Etsy tutorials as well. Also, you get early access to most of the YouTube videos, so you'll be able to see them up to 2 weeks early, so be sure to check that out as well. And as always, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.